right, folks, keep your irony meters set to neutron star collision, because we're coming out swinging into the latest episode of Who's Got the Best Victim Complex, starring everyone's least favourite late-stage capitalist and the only woman to have milked a small wizard more than Debbie McGee, Elon Musk and J.K. Rowling. Truly the power couple you don't want giving you the eye at the elite's secret orgy when you come around with the silver tray with the adrenochrome. This week they've set their sights on the Paris 2024 Olympics, where their finely tuned transvestigations for misogynist sporting conspiracies have detected a woman who dares to hit harder than their brittle shell of their egos can bear. Yep, it seems that Algeria's Imane Khelif, a woman so thoroughly female she has to navigate the laws that make being transgender illegal in her own country, is somehow the poster child for transphobic fever dreams of the Western elite. Khelif, whose offence is possessing slightly elevated testosterone levels, had the audacity to step into the boxing ring and fight, much to the chagrin of Rowling and Musk, who apparently believe the only sport women should compete in is the 100-metre hurdle over patriarchal expectations from the kitchen to the nursery. Our narrative begins with Angela Carini, who found herself on the receiving end of Khelif's boxing prowess and decided that after 46 seconds that self-preservation was the better part of valour when the Italian cop met an opponent that's legally allowed to fight back. It should be noted that she let her guard down and got socked, because that's how boxing works. Also, Olympic boxing is not prize fighting. It's based largely on technique and points, rather than actually landing heavy blows. It has shorter and fewer rounds, more protective gear, and immediate medical assistance if there's any sign of distress from either fighter. Oh yeah, and a ref in the ring to professionally assess the match for safety of both competitors. Instead of respecting Carini's own agency and decision, Rowling and Musk's, those titans of feminist thought and clearly experts in pugilism, have swooped in to make this about themselves. Rowling, always ready to pen a new chapter in her magnum opus of unsolicited opinions, took to the Doombird, X, because it's Elon's favourite letter like the overgrown teenage edgelord he is, to label the event a victory for misogynist sporting establishments everywhere, because nothing says women's rights like infantilising a grown female cop who made her own choice in a boxing match. Musk never the one to miss an opportunity to punch down, and quite frankly everybody is beneath Lord Emperor Musk, echoed swimmer Riley Gaines' assertion that men don't belong in women's sports, before presumably returning to his side gig of busting unions and making rockets that scatter themselves over a large area on launch, whilst on ketamine. The International Olympic Committee, the IOC, stepped in to govern the boxing competition amid governance issues with the International Boxing Association, the IBA, and they stand firm, stating everyone has the right to practice sport without discrimination. Quite the revolutionary idea, isn't it? Letting people compete based on their legally recognised gender. What's next? Women voting? It should be noted that the IBA has close ties to Russia and has been accused of basically rigging matches, so this should be taken into account when assessing if they start maulding about this. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Carini herself refuses to play along with this absurdist theatre. She wished Khelif well, saying, "I wish her to carry on until the end and that she can be happy. I'm someone who doesn't judge anyone." Clearly she hasn't received the memo from Rowling and Musk that she's supposed to be outraged and not magnanimous. But why let athletes and facts dictate the narrative when you have the two-headed hydra of Twitter hot takes filling the void with sanctimonious drivel. Imane Khelif, despite being biologically female, has always identified as such, is now the target of a campaign that bizarrely accuses her of male privilege. One wonders if Rowling and Musk will next target the Williams sisters for being too good at tennis. After all, their dominance must be down to something sinister and a gender-bending plot rather than hard work and talent, especially as black women are frequently accused in the intersection of racism, transphobia and total stupidity. And let's not forget that sports have always celebrated extreme genetic outliers, as they tend to win. Human amphibian Michael Phelps with his double-jointed flipper-like feet, Usain Bolt basically being on stilts, and Simone Biles, thanks to her compact yet strong frame, flipping around like gravity is just a suggestion, and Shaquille O'Neal, who's more or less a human walking wall. These athletes dominate precisely because of their extraordinary genetics. So the next time somebody jumps on their high horse about who should compete, maybe they should remember that sports has always been about celebrating the extraordinary and downright unusual. We've reached the crucible of total absurdity, where Dark Mother Rowling's transphobia starts to devour its own young, when apparently being born a woman is no longer enough because of chromosomes. It should be noted, Rowling herself, who has posed as a man for her literary career on 2 separate occasions, has never had her chromosomes tested. Joan, I know your daddy wanted a boy, but you don't have to make your complete psychodrama the world's problem. And unless it genuinely is witchcraft, it seems like you've had quite a bit of surgery to make your face appear more feminine recently. Until medically proven otherwise by a professional, I'm just going to assume her pudenda is actually a small demonic face with a prehensile tongue that whispers transphobic nonsense while she sleeps. In conclusion, what we have here is not just a boxing max, but a full-bore contact sport of ideological absurdity where the real losers are logic and empathy. But don't worry, as long as we have Rowling and Musk to tell women what to think, feel and fight for, the world remains a perfectly rational place. Now excuse me, I have to go and cast a small counter-ritual to deal with the swirling green and purple vortex that has appeared in the sky over Rowling's mansion before it starts to eat our reality. Plague Dr. Jim, signing off.